everyone, I'm Alina Z and I'm so excited to have a guest today. Jill Schneider is here with us. She is a holistic life coach and she's going to share some of her beauty tips, health tips, and some other things. So Jill, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yes, I'm so excited. So I'm just going to start off. Jill, would you mind sharing how old you are?
I will be 70 in August.
Jill looks amazing. You cannot see her whole body, but she looks fabulous and she runs. You said you run?
Well, I'm a fast walker. I used to be a runner. I bike, actually out in the Everglades on a dirt road with alligators on either side. They don't bother me, I don't bother them. And I swim in the summer. And I hike whenever I can get to a mountain.
Wow.
And I just, last September, October, I was in Sicily by myself, driving and staying on organic farms and going into the mountains, special national parks.
Now that's amazing, right? To have a life and to have a vibrant health. And so I wanted you to share a couple of your tips and tell us a little bit about what you do to help our viewers reach their health goals.
Well, everybody has a little story about how they got started on this kind of narrow path. And for me, it started in 1975. I was 29 years old, and I went to the doctor, a gynecological exam, and they found cervical cancer. And then they took another test to make sure that test was right, and it was specifically and definitely malignant cervical cancer. And the doctor wanted me in the hospital that week and wanted me probably to have a hysterectomy. And I walked out, and I just happened to be studying Chinese medicine at the time. I was taking an introductory course in the theory of Chinese medicine, and it made a lot of sense to me. So I decided to find the people that would help me to go that route. And within 1 month of having acupuncture twice a week with this adorable older gentleman with a long beard, he just looked at me and he just said, "No worry, no problem.
No worry.
I fix."
1 month?
In 1 month, it went from a number 5 on a pap test, which they don't even use that classification anymore because it's so severe, to a number 3.
Wow.
And at that point in time, I had quit my job, which was very stressful. I had to leave the country. I went to Peru, I went to Venezuela, and I hiked and I lived in nature and I took care of myself.
Wow. And
that was 4.5 months there. And then when I returned, I had another doctor give me an exam and it was gone.
Wow, 4.5 months.
4.5 months.
So this is a true story of someone who overcame such a disease, like we say. You know, you can do it too. With the right tips, with the right attitude, with the right treatments, your body can heal yourself, right?
The main thing, no fear.
No fear. No fear. No fear. No fear.
No fear. I have no fear. That's why I can ride out there with the alligators. And because I know their behavior and I know they're not going to bother me.
Wow.
You know, and I knew, and I know still after 40 years how powerful this body is and how it can heal itself.
I'm getting goosebumps. Wow,
okay.
That's amazing.
It can heal it. And wait a minute. 2.5 years later, I gave birth to my son, who's now 38, and now I have 2 little girl grandchildren.
Wow.
5 and 3.
That's amazing. You could have just given it up if you didn't know.
Well, they were going to give me a hysterectomy.
Right.
They were calling me every single day on the telephone.
Wow.
Jill, you have to listen to what the doctor said because you're going to die if you don't. I asked them, I said, please never call me again.
Wow. That's incredible, isn't it? So, Jill, can you share with our viewers maybe a couple of tips on what they can do at home or what they can maybe suggest to somebody they love, that somebody's dealing with a similar situation?
Well, the most important thing is to take yourself and really almost step away from the world a little bit if you can. And sometimes maybe you have to look at your finances and think, you know, maybe I can step away from the world for a month or 2 and make my own decision. Take care of myself. Go on a juice fast. Clean everything out. Go and hike. Go and do something where you're in touch with nature. We are nature. When we're not in touch with nature, we get sick. It's that simple.
So number one is get away, step away.
Step away so you can think, because one of the things that I did that was so important was I didn't tell my family. No, in fact, I had forgotten I hadn't told my mother. And maybe 10 years ago, when she was 89, she just died recently at 99, I started talking about cancer, and she said, "What cancer?"
Wow.
I had never told my mother.
Wow.
Because as soon as you tell family, they're going to have their own agenda and their fears. And they're going to bring their fears into the picture, and they're going to threaten you because they love you. They do love you, but they don't understand how powerful the body is. And for the last 30 years, I would say I've been studying nutrition very strongly, and also learning more and more about how the body can cleanse using the detoxification program of juice fasting.
Detoxification. We're going to do a juice recipe in another video. There's a link below for that video. But let's get another 2 tips really quickly to share that somebody can do.
Sharp knife. You can't be afraid of a knife, because it would be so difficult to cut up all these vegetables and to take care of yourself and to live on vegetables and fruits and whole grains and sprouted foods and whatever it is that feels right for you, whether you eat, technically, I'd say if you have had a serious diagnosis, it is time to cleanse and to go very extreme. You've come from an extreme, you have to go to an extreme to come back into the balance of now.
So get a sharp knife.
Get a sharp knife.
We'll remind you not to be afraid. No fear.
Right.
And 3rd tip that you can share.
3rd tip is to really take yourself into the heart of God. And that's who you have to have a communication with, within yourself. It's just within. It's not religion. I don't even like the word spiritual. It's been so overused. So I would say find the time to rest, to go within yourself, to get the direction that you know that feels right in this place, right from your heart, and you know what you have to do next, and you will be guided. I was guided. I got the diagnosis for the cancer. I was already taking the Chinese medicine course, and from there, the teacher, he guided me to the acupuncturist, to Michio Kushi. At the time, I did macrobiotics, 1975. We were not into juicing and raw foods at that time. There were some people, but very, very few. There were books. And then I went crazy, of course, in the early 80s, and I started reading everything that Dr. Norman Walker wrote, Arnold Ehret, Paul Bragg. These were the, Jensen, Dr. Bernard Jensen. These were the people that I studied.
So see, we talk about this a lot in the holistic healing community, is that you have the answers, and a lot of spiritual teachers that teach us the same thing, that we are part of God, and when we connect to nature, when we step away from fear, and one of my favorite authors, Anita Moorjani, wrote it in her book, Dying to Be Me, is how fear has created her disease, and when she separated from that fear, and when she really connected with how magnificent she was, she let go of the disease. Her lemon-sized tumor shrunk in 3 days, 70%. 3 days. So healing is possible. And when you really listen to yourself, when you connect to how amazing you are, how divine you are, that will give you the light out. So we're gonna do another video on juicing, so check that video. And thank you, Jill, so much for being here and inspiring our viewers.
You're so welcome. I love it.
The website for Jill is down below in the comments, and please contact her if you need guidance on juice fasts and cleanses that are personal, and she works with clients from all over the world that come to see her. And if you have any questions, leave them in comments below. I'll be happy to address them and create videos for you. And thank you so much for tuning in, and until later.
Bye.
Cheers to your health.
Thank you.